Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today I'm taking another look at the Giulio Cesare, and I'm terribly sorry if I'm pronouncing that ship wrong. Now this ship is still a work in progress, there might still be changes coming for it, it's not a finished product. But the ship has changed since I last took a look at it. It's now the second version they are testing, and well, simply put, the ship has been nerfed. It is now less accurate, and let's be honest, that change was necessary. The shells are now more spread out in a line on average, which means if the enemy angles well against you, if he presents a small target, you will get a lot less hits, and that's a good thing. This ship is still pretty good overall, I would say. It still has rather fearsome guns. Not because they have a very high caliber, but you got 10 of them, you got a decent reload, you have a range of 16.4 kilometers. While this isn't the best at tier 5, it is enough, I suppose. You have good concealment, your armor is not that great, you don't have the most hit points, but you are fast and maneuverable. And well, this is a standard battle I'm currently in, by the way. I'm on the map straight, it's a tier 6 battle, so could be better, could be worse. There is a carrier around and there are, well, 2 destroyers in the enemy team. Now in a standard battle, destroyers are less important, but they can be a threat. We know there is a Hatsuharu up here somewhere. I have a friendly Farragut here who will hopefully provide some deterrent for the enemy destroyer. Now, speaking of destroyers, the old version of the Giulio Cesare was very efficient at dealing with destroyers. With the accuracy you had before, you were absolutely wrecking them. This is no longer the case. That is, I think, a good thing. You really don't need a battleship to be able to murder absolutely everything it needs without them having a chance of really fighting back. Now, something else about this ship, you have in your second module slot no way of mounting an accuracy module or a range extension module, so you have 2 choices that make sense, which is more secondary range and more anti-air range. They make sense not because they're great modules, but because the third option is a trap that reduces your reload. So basically, the secondaries of this ship are not that great. You can get the secondary range up to tier 5.8 kilometers. Now I have the captain's skill and the module mounted. Don't expect too much from the secondaries, but 5.8 for a tier 5 ship, that's a reasonable distance where you can see some shots of your secondaries. They are a mixture of high explosive and armor piercing. And well, I've done a lot of damage to this enemy battleship so far, but since he's started to angle, my shots aren't that effective. The high explosive of this ship is quite nice. It doesn't have that high of an alpha damage, but the fire chance is good. Now nobody wants these days battleships with good fire chance, I suppose. We have had enough with the British line. But yeah, in this ship you will find yourself switching to high explosive, or at least you should. I should have done so quite a while ago. Now of course the battleship I'm facing has a special damage control party, so I'm not sure how much I can burn him down until he runs out of charges anyway. But I should have switched to high explosive here. You don't have the highest caliber guns, so you might find yourself switching to high explosive at times against an angled battleship. Now we can also see the anti-air here, and well, I've got some plane kills. It's nothing to write songs about. It's about average anti-air for a tier 5 battleship. So if you wanna go with an anti-air module or a secondary module is basically your choice. I don't think either is a must-have. And this destroyer was very nice. He provided me with a smoke screen, not something you see very often at low tiers. And this battleship here is finally going down. If I would have switched to explosives, it would have probably been taken down sooner. Now let's see if I can get some more broadsides from other battleships that are chasing me. And this is where the destroyer pops up. Now I still have my destroyer around here. My destroyer can help me engage this Hatsuharu. There is also a Cleveland at 14.5 kilometers who is almost down, and maybe I should have used some shots at the Cleveland. I'm currently more concerned with the Hatsuharu, and I missed with all my shells. Now exactly in engagements like this ship was way too strong. I'm also providing here some anti-air for our friendly fighters. Our fighters are engaged with the enemy fighters, and hopefully they will win, because we have ships here who provide anti-air. And, well, not doing a good job hitting this Hatsuharu. But my secondary is opening up. As I said, you shouldn't expect too much of them. The range is decent, but I find them not being so effective. Now I've started to move in time. I'm dodging those torpedoes, but this means I'm also no longer covered in smoke. My carrier here just went down, and there wasn't an awful lot I could do about that. Now, not looking that great overall. I'm moving to the other side of this canyon and joining the other ships in the defense of our cap. Now I should also say I'm not using concealment currently in this video. I will put a link of the captain skills I had in this video in the video description. Concealment expert is certainly something you want on this ship. It has great concealment anyway, and being able to be unspotted is a very powerful tool if used right. Now this Hatsuharu might be chasing me here. I'm hoping I can use these islands to dodge any torpedoes and see if he is directly facing me. I'll have a hard time hitting him with my dispersion here. While before I wouldn't have been surprised if most of my shots would have hit. But yeah, I think this ship is still pretty good, and it is now in a state where I would say it is... Well, it's a good ship, but it's balanced, I suppose. We will see if Wargaming agrees with that, or if there are further changes to this ship. Now I'm continuing my retreat here. I'm still under fire, but... Well... my experience, this ship isn't that well armored, so while I'm not showing them much broadside, they will continuously damage me. And currently I'm worried about this Hatsuharu. He will sail around this island, and I want to have all my guns prepared to hit him. Afterwards I will most likely have to dodge some torps. I get one overpen. I was hoping for a bit more, but as you can see, luck is not with me. Secondaries are opening up once more, not too impressed. I get some hits with my secondaries, so there is that, and I have a Nuremberg with me. Now hopefully that Nuremberg has something like Hydro and will be able to shield me for from some incoming torpedoes. Now there are also some planes in the area, but those are only fighters and no reason to be scared of them. Now currently I'm turning away from this smoke. I don't want to get too close to the destroyer. The turret traverse of this ship is very nice. I'm also having the skill to further increase it. But I mean, it's still a battleship. I'm trying to turn my turrets towards the Kirov. It's obviously too late. My team took care of that, which is nice, but I don't really have shots at anything else. Now I've been moving away from this smoke, which means if the destroyer comes out of it, I'm probably not going to spot it. Neither is the Nuremberg, but I can't afford to linger there. I also have to worry about those two battleships. I'm currently showing a bit too much broadside. And once again the destroyer surfaces, I'm getting some hits, and you know, well, my team took care of it. I guess that's fine. I don't expect to be deleting a destroyer consistently at this range with a single volley. Now the tables have turned. So far, we are now in the lead. We could just sit back and let the enemy team push towards us, or we can go and meet them. They still have two rather healthy battleships there, so it could still be in their favor. Our battleships seem to be at below half health, I think. And if they get some lucky salvos at our cruisers, would take care of them. They also still have two carriers. So I guess it's in a way still anyone's game. If we just sit back and play passively, then we might be vulnerable to their carriers, with only one carrier to defend us. Anyway, I'm meeting up with the Queen Elizabeth in front of me, and I decided to join him and support him if he wants to push forward. Maybe we can catch those battleships when they come around the island, broadside on, and our Congo seems to be pushing aggressive as well. The Cleveland might join us. The Nuremberg, I'm not sure where he is currently moving. Maybe he just wants to cover this gap here on the left. But I mean, we know their battleships are going more towards the center. He might just be wanting to play it passively. Maybe he's coming around and joining us. We will see. Now the Queen Elizabeth has asked for help, and I'm most happy to back him up. There are torpedo planes incoming, and I focused those planes, but you cannot see that in a replay. Just to sure you know, if you should always focus the enemy you want to shoot at with your secondaries or with your anti-air, but you don't see those things in a replay. Now this salvo was somewhat depressing, but the enemy angled against me, and this is where high explosive would come in handy. I'm not switching for one simple reason. This other battleship seems to want to push, and this means he is most likely showing me broadside. Now he is coming in here hard. It's possible that he wants to ram us. It's also possible that he just wants to sail beside us and shoot at our broadsides. Now I'm aiming at his gun with no success. I was hoping to maybe knock out a gun turret of him, so maybe I should have just held my fire. Now with my rear guns I can't hit him anyway, but now I'm waiting to get his flush broadside, and I'm hoping for some citadels here. The guns are not pointing my way. I think he's going for the Queen Elizabeth, and there are some citadels. And now my front guns aren't reloaded yet. I'm trying to keep them pointed at the ship, but the turret traverse, while it's good, it can't quite keep up, so I have to turn the ship as well. I need to hit that guy before he can ram or sink my division mate, my teammate, and it worked. Well, unfortunately, when I had to turn my ship to point my guns at him, this means I'm now pulling an Otze and showing my broadside to another battleship. But, well, the enemy battleship has been hit quite heavily, so I suppose the Queen Elizabeth behind me is doing some good work there. And looks like I can maneuver myself out of this position. Guns are currently not pointing my way. And I really should be switching to high explosive here. There really isn't much excuse for me sticking to armor piercing. I am still very heavily focusing on armor piercing in all of my battleships, even if they have high explosive. Now my secondaries are also having some fun. The enemy is almost out of range though, and well, they didn't do that much. Now it looks like maybe he is turning and showing me some more broadside, but I guess he is turning back already. He is cleverer than that. Now I did knock out the gun turret, I didn't do much else, so now I'm finally learning from my mistakes, and I'm switching to high explosive. Now this battle is looking pretty good, but keep in mind they could still turn it around. I'm at very low health, one good salvo of this enemy battleship. If I am showing too much broadside, would sink me. I think the Queen Elizabeth behind me is also, yeah, not too healthy. And I still have 2 carriers. I'm not sure how many planes they have left though. And this is the battleship taken care of, so by now I guess... yeah, now it's really unlikely that I win. My Queen Elizabeth behind me managed to unleash a Kraken, and I've complimented him because it looks like he played quite well. Our carrier is also defending me here, so nicely done by him. Now all that is left is hunt down the carriers, or well, wait for the time to run up because there are only 2 minutes left. So I think I'll now just speed this up a little bit. I'm sticking with high explosive. Setting a carrier on fire prevents him from launching any planes unless he has the right captain skill. Now this carrier seems to currently surfing along the zone wall, but I guess he's already turning around. Let's see if we can start some fires. There is one. And he is no longer visible, but the fire is still burning, so maybe his damage control is on cooldown. Now I'm going for one more high explosive salvo. I'm going back to armor piercing. I mean, the carrier is not very well armored, and I could be able to get some very devastating strikes there with armor piercing. He is even nicely showing me broadside. There is also only like 20 seconds left. The other carrier got sunk by now, and this is the win. And now here we are with the results. I managed to get 1756 base experience. It was quite a nice battle. And it showed, well, the changes in the accuracy. The ship was too strong before. I think it's probably in a good place right now. We will see what Wargaming makes of it. The guns were just too good in the beginning. Now with this version they feel like, well, regular battleship guns. Now the Giulio Cesare lost its special, I think, with that, but I don't think it needs one. It's a nice Italian battleship, it's comfortable, and yeah, I think it's in a good place. I scored 126,000 points of damage, didn't get any achievements because you cannot get any achievements in a test ship. I had quite a few secondary hits, I suppose. Well, I mean, there are a lot of secondary hits for a tier 5 battleship, I think. Now I got 6,000 damage out of it. That's not an awful lot, but it's not nothing either. I'm going with a secondary module because I think it's more reliable of a benefit than going with an anti-air module. Anyway, this was just an update on the changes. Keep in mind this ship is not final yet. It may still be changed before its release. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys next time.